Hi students, welcome to my class Accountancy Simplified for class 12. In the last class, I have an overall discussion on consignment accounting. In today's class, I shall discuss some other points which are very important in knowing consignment accounting in details and which will help you in solving the problems simply and in a very smart manner. The first point is commission. I have already told you in the first class that consignee or the agent acts for the consignor in consideration of his commission. Commission may be of three types. The first one is ordinary commission. The consignor gives consignee ordinary commission at a given percentage and on his gross sale products. The second one is deal credit commission, which is offered by the consignor to the consignee at a given rate as per agreement to take care of bad debt if there be any on account of credit sales. So if there be any bad debt on account of credit sales and consignee gets deal credit commission, he has to bear the responsibility on account of loss of bad debt. But in absence of any such deal credit commission in the agreement, consignor has to bear that responsibility. The third one is extra commission, which is offered by the consignor to the consignee when consignee sells goods in excess of the price given by the consignor. For example, if the price quoted by the consignor for a product is for rupees 100 and the consignee sells goods for rupees 120 for that product, the extra rupees 20 realized by the consignee on his product becomes eligible for extra commission. An extra commission is given at a given percentage that is also as per agreement. So there are three types of commission. The first one is ordinary commission, which is given on the total sales at a given percentage. The second one is deal credit commission, which is given to take care of bad debt by the consignee. And the third one is the extra commission, which is given by the consignor if the consignee sells his product in excess of the price offered by the consignor. The next point is unsold stock and its treatment in consignment account. You all know the concept of unsold stock. What is unsold stock? The stock remains unsold at the end of the day. And you have already come across that adjustment entry while doing problems on final accounts and balance sheet. It is a common adjustment entry. Have you got any idea why clothing stock comes to trading account? Clothing stock appears in trading account and in the credit side only to adjust purchase and to bring a parity between the purchase and sales so as to have a true profit, gross profit or loss. In the same line, unsold stock on consignment also appears in the consignment account in the credit side, as I told you earlier. But the difference is in the final accounts and balance sheet, the cost of unsold stock is given in the problem. The rules of valuation of stock is cost price or market price, which is lower, as current assets are always valued at net realizable value. But in case of consignment, you will have to determine the value of the unsold stock. And I will show in the form of a schedule how the closing stock or the unsold stock with the consignee is valued at the end of the period. The mode of calculation of value of unsold stock is to add the cost expenses on the consignment with the cost of the goods sent by the consignor to the consignee. The expenditure on consignment is classified in two clubs. One is called non-recurring expenses and the other one is called recurring expenses. We shall only consider the non-recurring expenses in valuing clothing stock. Recurring expenses is not considered as the expenses goes on till the last unit of the product is sold. Expenses incurred by the consignor in dispatching the goods to the consignee may well be considered always as non-recurring expenses and will be considered in valuing clothing stock. The expenses incurred by the consignee may be either recurring or non-recurring expenses. The example of non-recurring expenses is freight and duty, custom duty, carriage inward, etc., etc. And the example of recurring expenses is carriage outward, delivery expenses, salesman's commission, advertisement, go down rent, etc., etc. So what we will do, we shall add only the non-recurring portion of the consignment expenses to the cost of goods to arrive at the unsold stock. This is the difference between the clothing stock of trading account and that of consignment account. This is very important and you must understand it properly, otherwise you will not be able to value the unsold stock at the problem given by the examiner. So listen to my point very carefully and with all attention, that valuation of stock is very important in consignment accounting. The next point is abnormal loss. You must have already known the concept of abnormal loss while solving problems on final accounts and balance sheet. What is abnormal loss? The loss on which human has no control. Losses arising out of natural calamities, that is fire, drought, floods, accident, etc., etc. As we do in trading account, abnormal loss is also credited in line of trading account in consignment account. But in final accounts and balance sheet, the cost of abnormal loss is given in the problem. But in consignment, you will also have to calculate the value of abnormal loss as in line with the value of unsold stock, as I told you earlier. And abnormal loss is linked with insurance claim, because all goods which are sent by the consignor to the consignee is insured, and insurance claim may be there when there is abnormal loss. So you will have to consider the concept of insurance claim in the same line as you have done in case of trading account. What we do in case of abnormal loss in trading account? First, we pass the entries generated in the form of abnormal loss account debit to trading account with the full value of stock lost. Say total value of stock lost is rupees 10,000 and the insurance company admitted claim for rupees 8,000. So what we'll do? First, we make an entry in the journal in the form abnormal loss account debit to trading account 10,000, then insurance claim account debit 8,000, profit and loss account debit 2,000 to abnormal loss. Profit and loss account is debited for 2,000 with the difference between the total loss and the claim admitted by the insurance company. This is the rules of making entry in respect of abnormal loss. These are the main 3 points which are very important in solving consignment account. So please listen to my lecture time and again, regularly, and with all your attention for better understanding of the subject consignment account. So that is all for today. Goodbye. See you in the next class. In the next class, I shall discuss accounting entries for consignment accounting. Goodbye. Thank you.